So I'm going to show you a picture. I want you to just clear your mind for a moment. And when I show you this picture, just blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. Okay? You ready? Right here. I know for me, that picture, the only thing that comes to mind is just keep swimming. It's Dory's just catchphrase throughout the movie because she can't remember. She can't think back and know what just happened, so she just keeps moving forward. What if I told you Dory was wrong? What if I told you that mantra of moving forward without hesitating, without thinking back and remembering where we've been was wrong? I'm going to talk about Judges tonight. If you got your Bible, I would love for you to just flip over to Judges chapter 3 and look through these verses with me. I'm going to read them for y'all right now. We're doing Judges 3, verses 1 and 2. It says this: "These are the nations the Lord left in order to test all those in Israel who had experienced none of the wars in Canaan. This was to teach the future generations of the Israelites how to fight in battle, especially those who had not fought before." There's a lot to dissect in those two verses alone, so I'm just going to start here and say that the Lord puts us through trials. Or he doesn't put us through trials, but he allows us to go through trials. Those trials are there to teach us. There's something to be gained out of each and every trial that he puts us through, no matter how big or how just horrific it is. If you look at the book of Job, he had everything ripped from him, but it was for him to learn how good God truly is and how much control he has, and how big he is, and how incredible God's character is. Furthermore, he prepares us. He teaches us what's coming next. He teaches us how to handle certain situations, how to handle any situation, because we can all just move forward in knowing him. So the question that you may ask then is, how do you navigate those trials? How do you go through something that may be the most difficult thing that you've ever been through? How do you go through that? And there's a few ways that you can do it, but first I've got to explain the book of Judges. See, Judges was a period of time after the death of Joshua, who was the leader of the Israelites, after they had gone through the wars in Canaan. And it was a time when the Israelites were forgetful, when they kept moving forward. The Israelites had God. They had seen the promised land, but they forgot what God had done for them. So they fell into evil. They fell into things that the flesh had to offer. They chase after people of different religions, people of different faiths that had no care for God, and they themselves had no care for God. So the Lord sent them in each of these periods of time judges, people who could remember him, people who knew his character, who knew how good he was, to deliver them from the pain and the suffering that the Israelites were experiencing at that time. There's countless times in this book where the Israelites were in total despair because of their evil, wicked ways. And God sends somebody who remembers him, just one person who remembers him, and delivers them completely from what they were suffering through. So naturally, of course, the Israelites would remember that and worship God for the rest of their days, right? But no, they forgot again. And so God had to send them somebody else to deliver them from their new suffering. It sounds a lot like you and me. It sounds a lot like what I do when I'm going through something hard and I call on God. I cry out to him, "Lord, please take me away from this." And he delivers me. And I thank him for how good he is in that moment. And then the very next thing that comes, I forget. I forget again. We have to remember God. We have to look back. See all the goodness that he has given us in this life, all the things that he has delivered us from, and all of the joy that he has brought us. We have to remember that. Otherwise, there is no point of these trials because we're not learning anything. We're just stumbling through it and hoping that someday it ends. Instead, we call out to God. We cry out to him. We ask him for his deliverance, and then we remember him. we remember him. Dory wasn't right. You don't just keep swimming. You remember God. You spend time in his word to get to know his character better, to understand how good he truly is through each and everything we come across. That's my challenge to you is when you're going through something, retreat. Look back. Think of all the good that God has done in your life. Think of all that he has delivered you from. It's going to get so much better. He's so incredible. And when you start to see that, even in the bad, the Lord's going to do incredible things through you, because that's the true beauty in the gospel. It's not, oh, God gave me this money and I'm rich now. No, the beauty is when everything is the lowest, you can still point to him and say he is good. Remember him.